how far can Lamar carry
To the Super Bowl, I ain't even going to let you
team?
finish.
Okay.
He can take him to the Super Bowl, Molly.
Okay.
He really, truly can. That defense continues to get better. That secondary shores up. And when you talk about just who he is as a dynamic playmaker and his ability to strike fear into the defensive unit, it's ridiculous. They didn't want him to get the ball at overtime. Especially after he was cooking the way he was cooking.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you go back, I think it was the Indianapolis Colts game where they were sitting out there, Hollywood Brown was dropping footballs left him. Not the Colts game. It was, what game was it? The Eagles? The Eagle game? And he was dropping Detroit game, dropping he dropped 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you start adding statistics and all that up. Then when you look at his ability to make plays, when he gets into trouble with his feet, and now he's starting to keep his eyes and head downfield and not thinking about running first. I think a lot of people think that he's just a run-first quarterback. When he's in the pocket, he's a pocket passer. It doesn't look traditional. So to most people that watch football, they look at it and think it's Friday Night Lights because he's so dynamic. And then people want to say, well, you know, he's running too much, he's going to get hurt, his body is slight. He's been doing this since he was in Pop Warner. Nothing going to happen to him. He knows how to protect himself. And that's the beauty of it. And he's just, man, I love it. He can take them all the way to the Super. He already beat the Chiefs.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
So he got that out the way. That's off his back. He done already beat Cleveland before. That's over with. Only team that's standing his way in the AFC, in my opinion, is Buffalo.
I wouldn't go as far as to say he knows how to protect himself because I've seen him put himself in dangerous situations.
No, dangerous situations as far as your eyes say. Just because it looked a certain way. But he knows how to protect himself.
Okay, when that brother's stretching near the goal line the way that he did, I mean, listen, he could have got.
He's been stretching that way forever,
That's
though,
cool. I'm
Stephen
just
A.
saying, it only takes once. You know that.
Oh, come on, man.
That. I mean, when you
okay, so here's what I'm going to ask you. So here's what I'm asking you.
Right, go ahead.
Do quarterbacks like that with that style in the plays that you see?
Is there anyone that style?
No, hold on. I'm talking about dudes that's running around, the Russell Wilsons, the Kyler Murray, the Cam Newtons. When they're diving and doing those things, are they getting hurt? No, they're not.
No, they're not.
The people that's getting hurt is them Carson Wentz's and them type of dudes.
Fair enough.
That's all I'm saying.
Here's where I'm at with Lamar Jackson. I got to see it.
Other than they got to pay him his money too.
No. Oh no. I'm listen. You gave Josh Allen $258 million. You better give Lamar Jackson at least $250 million. Matter of fact, I'm cool with the 258. Why should he get paid less than Josh Allen as far as I'm concerned? I'm down with that. He deserves every penny, okay? Because the brother's box office. And he's winning football games. He ain't just winning football games. He's box office, too.
Okay.
So actually, you can make an argument he deserves more money than Josh Allen.
So what problem do you have?
What I'm saying to you is this. The 2 games prior to last night, all right, when he played against Detroit and Denver, both wins, in fairness to him, he didn't even complete 60% of his passes. That's what I pay attention to come postseason time. That's what I pay attention to.
Stephen A., they out there dropping Bentleys. What you talking about?
I saw Hollywood Brown drop some passes, no doubt about it.
And so you add them as catches, the percentage going to go up.
They didn't drop passes last night. He was balling, and I get all of that. All I'm trying to say to you is this. We have seen the Baltimore Ravens throughout the years. We've seen them show up in the regular season. We've seen them, and then something happens in the postseason. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is when we talk about Lamar Jackson, I'm thinking Josh
dude
Allen
is in his 4th year. He's taking them to the playoffs every year.
You act like I'm calling the brother a scrub.
No, because you just said you've seen the Baltimore Ravens in the past. All I'm saying, this is only his 4th year.
I'm telling you, when we talk about Lamar Jackson, my litmus test, because he looked like a pocket passer, even though he ran the ball 14 times last night. He looked like a pocket passer to me when he was in the pocket. He looked very composed. He was patient. There was a few times he could have taken off and ran, and he did it. He stayed. He was patient. He waited for receivers to get open. Connected with Mark Andrews 11 times. Connected with Hollywood Brown 9 times. The brother put on the show, no doubt about it. Even though Carson Wentz
and their number 1 pick ain't even out there.
That's right.
Bateman, where is he?
Exactly. So all I'm saying to you is that, again, with greatness comes great expectations. And I'm looking at him and I'm saying, yo, Lamar, good. I love what I'm seeing. Because come playoff time, you're going to see Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. I ain't worried about it. Listen, and by the way, listen. By the way, Baker Mayfield liking one of the tweets when I said they ain't winning no damn Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield as a quarterback. Damn it, I meant it. I didn't stutter, but that doesn't mean, Baker Mayfield, that I don't think you can play. I think you're a very good football player. I just think that there are quarterbacks in the AFC that are better. That's all. Prove me wrong. Good luck with that, because I think it's Chubb and Kareem Hunt that'll prove me wrong more so than anything else, but that's a different story for another day. All I'm saying is, with Lamar,
yes,
I want to see what I saw last night.
Okay.
Throwing the football. I ain't talking about running because we know what he can do. Throwing the football, what I saw last night, I want to see that come play.
Have you ever seen any young quarterbacks do what he's done in the first 3 years of their career?
No.
I ain't even going to count this year.
No.
Just the first 3 years.
No.
So he's
a
growing.
superstar. He's a superstar.
He's growing.
He's a superstar.
He completed 85% of
Come
his
on, Molly,
passes,
talk to
400
this
yards,
dude, man.
4 TDs.
Talk to
These
him.
are things that have never happened
Talk
in
to
NFL
him.
history. Unprecedented.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
My comment that he didn't complete 60% of his passes in the 2 previous games, was I false about that? Yes or no?
No, but
Don't
there's
say
context.
but.
But there's context
I'm
to
just
that.
saying.
But come on, man. If Molly ain't teeing you up right and the producers ain't helping us up right, this show ain't gonna be tops on the air.
That's true. But
okay, think about it.
I understand that.
Think about it.
I understand.
So if they out there dropping, like I said, they out there dropping Bentleys and Lamborghini trucks and all that sort of stuff, instead of holding on to the damn ball like they did last night.
Okay.
I had the same conversation with Swagoo and Dan Orlovsky. They kept saying he needs help, he needs help. Yeah, they got to catch the ball.
Yes.
He's putting it in the breadbasket.
Yeah, but you act like that.
If Justin Herbert was doing the same thing,
you act like that was applicable the last 3 years he was in the postseason, even though he won a playoff game last year. You act like that's applicable.
He's growing.
I understand. We know that. We ain't listen.
And Molly's question, can they win the Super Bowl with him? And I said yes.
And I said I got to see it to believe
Oh,
it.
man,
all right.
come on,
Now,
man.
don't give me no come on. Now, here's the
You
other
don't
thing.
trust him in the clutch. You don't trust him
Here's
when
the
it
other thing I
counts,
want to get
you
on
do.
Keyshawn about.
He just came back off
That's what I
night
mean.
from 19
That's-
last night.
He's ignoring me.
I'm not ignoring him. Here's my point that I want to get on Keyshawn about. I would never ignore you, Molly. Here's the deal, Keyshawn. I have a right to look at the competition too. All I'm saying to you, y'all act like I'm sitting there saying the brother ain't a superstar. He's a superstar. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.